First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We're here every weekday. We start at 1 o'clock, we go throughout the afternoon, and we cover a wide range of topics, and I am really excited about this topic right now. Metalocalypse, the classic, the amazing animated series, is 20 years old, and in honor of that, Dethklok is out on tour. We're going to talk all about that right now. We've got the co-creator, Brendan Small, joining us. Brendan, so good to have you here on the show with us. Big fan. I just want to start off, talking about this, 20 years. How does it feel for you, thinking about that number and just how big the fan base still is for this amazing show?
Well, geez, yeah, it's been a while. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, and it's great to be here. Yeah, 20 years since we premiered the show. It started out as a TV show, and we started putting out records, and then we started touring, and then time went by, and we do seasons. We just put out a movie in 2023 called Army of the Doomstar. We put out a record and two records and a movie. So we're still kind of touring that, and then the 20-year anniversary came, and so we're spending most of the spring touring with a band called Amon Amarth and a band called Castle Rat, and then we're doing a bunch of special shows, and we're coming to Portland to play for you guys, and it's just great to be here after all this time. Yeah,
and out on tour, and I will say, I saw you guys, it was a while ago. It was probably like 15 years ago or something like that, at the Roseland in Portland, and the show is just incredible. And I wondered if you could describe it from your perspective of being a musician, with this unique setup of having the animation of how this all works. Could you talk about, what this show is really like for people who may not have seen it?
Yeah. So this is a show. We've got the TV show. It's meant to stand on its own. We've got the records that are meant to stand on their own, and then this live thing is kind of like the best of all worlds. Where we bring in a gigantic movie theater size screen and we played a picture. So we're kind of like a pit band on stage. You look at me, I don't look anything like the cartoon characters, but as it turns out, my band sounds exactly like Dethklok. So what we do is we're shadows on stage and we played a picture. So we have a click track in our ears, and our drummer is basically the conductor of this pit band, and we play, so you can see us playing live and doing all these crazy antics, in front of you, but we're playing in lockstep with the picture, so every downbeat coincides with a cut, so we get this really great synergy between kind of the visual and the audio, and it's a really, it's like we're doing a big magic trick for you. And we have comedy, we have a lot of stuff that a lot of bands can't do, so it's really cool to kind of only exist in your imagination, but you get to see it all together in one. It's to me, it's like going to like the Terminator 2 ride. That's what I kind of fashioned it on in Universal Studios. Something that's kind of you're part of the show. You're part of the energy is huge, and it's really fun to be there. That's the idea. Is how much fun can we have on stage?
Yeah, and having that visceral experience, like you are right there. You can feel the music. You can see everything happening. Just from and I know you've been doing this for a while, so I'm sure you all have it perfectly tuned in. But how hard was it to get used to playing that way, lined up with something, animated on there, trying to match that all perfectly?
It's crazy because this music is very, very technical, and I work with these great musicians who are technical perfectionists. So I've got to rise. I've hired people way better than me, and I've got to rise to their abilities, which is very, very difficult. Plus, in heavy metal, you're dead on or you're dead off. So you've got to be playing at your absolute best at all times, and it's a pretty tricky thing to do. So yeah, it takes a lot of practice, and it takes listening, and we're anything could go wrong at any time. So I always think we're daredevils, and we're crazy for doing this because anything can go wrong. But we all, I have a background in comedy. I'm used to things going sideways. But fortunately, with this band, it stays on the tracks the whole time, which is pretty great.
Yeah, you've got to be so into. Any slight thing off.
Oh,
yeah, that's amazing. But I imagine that's also kind of the thrill of it too.
Oh yeah, it is. It's really fun because look, my job is most of the time I'm a writer. I'm indoors. I'm with a typewriter and I'm confused, and that's what it's like for me. So to get out of the house and to become a carny for a good chunk of the year is really great, and it really is fun, and it really kind of contradicts my normal boring lifestyle. So so with that comes lots of practice. Me with a metronome, running scales, going or getting my right hand in shape, because in heavy metal, your right hand's everything. You've got to just get everything completely dead on and totally perfect.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I do is I practice. So I'm in big practice mode. Plus, I'm producing animation. I'm making sure our show is always fresh. I'm making sure that we have things that since you've seen us, our show is elevated so much that we've put on so many bells and whistles to make this thing even more exciting to the audience. So it's a really fun thing to watch.
For the audience coming, and well, I guess from your standpoint, and then I want to ask a different question from this, but from your standpoint, you mentioned being there on your typewriter, typing
Yeah.
to be in your office, but getting there in front of people like that and actually interacting with fans or seeing them in person, celebrating the work that you've created of this huge multi-visual audio experience. What's that like for you to actually see that happen?
Oh, I gotta say, I've got the best seat in the house because nobody can see me, but I can see everything. I'm backlit and I see the audience. I see the mosh pits. I see people who don't want to mosh, who want to hang out and watch. I see people in cosplay as the characters, and I can see everybody. And what we see is there's a point where we've hypnotized them, and we see people just with their eyes rolled back in their head and they're drooling with their mouth open. And I'm like, yep, that's right where I want you to be. That's exactly where I want the audience. I want you hypnotized and excited. And then the rest of what we comment on when we go off stage is how many smiles we see in a show like this that is so, it's meant to be kind of scary and dark, but it really is fun and everyone gets the joke. And so all
Yeah.
I see are people smiling.
That's amazing. I mean, and that is it's fun. For this fan side, I'm just curious because I mean there are some hardcore fans of Dethklok and Metalocalypse, and as you mentioned, dressing up, tattoos, all of that.
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the strangest or most interesting gifts that a fan has ever brought to you?
Oh, geez. This is crazy because there's something about this show, which is about, I mean, this is when you break down what Metalocalypse is, it's an office workplace, it's a workplace comedy, really. Really.
Yeah.
It's about a band that ends up that are musicians for a living. And it's about this creative family, a dysfunctional family, but a creative family. So people are so creative, the fans of this show. They're really talented artists. There's so much fan art, there's so much there's a whole world where people have relationships with these characters and they draw pictures of all this stuff. So I get all of these things. I save it all. Someone built coffee mugs with the characters' skulls in them. That's like
Cool.
an artifact from the show. It's a prop from the show that people brought into real life. So that's one of the things I have. I can't even begin to go through everything. But you mentioned the tattoos, and that's something that we thought about when we were making the show at the very beginning. We thought, let's build artwork that is tattooable. People are going to get tattoos anyway. They just don't know what they want to get. Let's give them good ideas. And so we noticed even before we got the pickup to the second season, way back when, we were getting photos of people who were getting back pieces of Metalocalypse, the characters, their arms. I saw someone like shave their head and tattooed on top of their head one of the characters. That's this year. That's this year that it happened. So it's crazy to see people discovering and our audience getting younger throughout, over the past 20 years somehow. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
And that's what I was going to say too. I mean, and obviously, a lot still continuing. There's the movie, there's the records touring right now. But what do you think it is that about Metalocalypse that just continues to draw people in? And you mentioned younger audience members coming too. Like, what is it about it, do you think?
Well, there's something evergreen about heavy metal. I don't know what it is. I love it still. I mean, in order for us to get this deep in it, you have to really love the genre. And I really do. And people are still making music and people are doing such creative things with heavy metal. So I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. The second thing is we have characters and they're all, these characters are kind of like it's about the ego. It's about masculinity. It's about working with your office mate. All that stuff is in there. So there's, even though it's ridiculous and it's over the top, there's something kind of relatable inside of that Thirdly, we put music inside of everything. We wanted to make sure that there was a memorable moment in every single episode. So as a musician and a writer, my challenge was to bring music to the table. And if it wasn't heavy metal, it'd be a song that the character would sing inside of their own world. We did an hour-long rock opera special with with a 50-piece orchestra for this show too. So there are all these things that exist to make the show not feel disposable, because there's so much streaming, there's so many shows, and some shows can start to feel disposable. This show are a safeguard for people, people that watch the show. It's kind of something that's like theirs. It kind of protects them, and they feel a strong bond with it.
Yeah, it's something that's always funny, but also comforting, in some way, shape, or form. It's got that aspect to it too, and yeah, it's just incredible. And you're going to be here in Portland, and I was just going to ask, I know obviously you've been to Portland here many times, but if you had any specific memories or thoughts about coming to the city to play here.
Oh, I love Portland. I remember one of my favorite moments was I was in a comedy festival with
was that Bridgetown? Oh, I think we lost you.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. Bridgetown,
okay, yeah.
Comedy Festival?
Yeah, it was the Bridgetown Comedy Festival, and I participated in a live Dr. Katz, which is a TV show that was kind of like part of my etymology, in that Dr. Katz happened, and then I created a show with those people called Home Movies. And so it was really nice to hang out with that crew, with Jonathan Katz, and to perform along Janine Garofalo and Andy Kindler and all those people. I love being able to perform, outside of a band, and that was a really fun occasion.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Actually, I think I may have even talked to you back then when that happened. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, Brendan, yeah, going to be here in town. So May 28th, people can come down, see Dethklok, get your tickets, and anything else that you think is important for people to know or that you want to share to all the fans that are out there.
I think this is this is like the most fun I can have right now. I love the idea of playing live music in a world where, people are terrified of AI and, non-personal things kind of littering kind of coming across your way. Live music is a really great way to kind of say no to all that stuff. And to watch people. And also, if you haven't been to a heavy metal show, you have to go and check it out, because the energy there is not something that I can compare to anything else. The only thing you need to be in that club is to buy a ticket and to just be there and just watch. You don't have to go and mosh if you don't want to. You don't have to do anything crazy. But if you go and observe, you may find that there's a world out there that you haven't looked at that is really something you may be very interested in. I mean, if I hadn't met a really good friend of mine when I was a teenager that introduced me into this world, I don't know that I'd be me now. So I know how important it is for young people to kind of discover music and to have it be their thing that is theirs, that they own. And I think that's just an important part of being a creative person,
Yeah. I mean, well, there's that the community too. I mean, when you're going to one of those things, like, people are cool. Like,
yeah. And it's like the safest place in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get in a fight. I always thought, like, you're probably going to see a fight break out at a Jimmy Buffett show before you see one at like a Metallica or like Cannibal Corpse or something like that. Everyone's going to like help each other in those places. It's a really it's kind of got its own rap, but it really is once you actually step foot inside, you get to see what it really is, and it really is. You're going to have a lot of fun, and we want to give you an experience that's completely memorable.
Awesome. Definitely will be. And thank you so much, for joining us and time to talk to us too. I appreciate it a lot. And, and for people, wherever you're watching, there's a whole list of tour dates. So if you're not in Portland, Seattle, all over the place that you're going. And just congratulations, on all this.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks.
And
it's nice to still be here. Yeah. And go to dethkloklive.com. Because we're playing all over. If you happen to be out of town, check it out, because we're playing a lot of dates leading up to that.
Nice. Fantastic. All right, Brendan, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking an interest.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back here in a little bit with more. And if there's breaking news between now and 4 p.m., I'll have that for you as well. Thanks for joining.